let's put let's have some levity and let's laugh. But, I want to...
There's a savage conclusion.
There's a savage conclusion to this night, right? And then I met a girl who the conversation was fucking fantastic, right? It was out of this world. It was great. It wasn't, okay, out of this world. I'm being a bit hyperbolic here. But it was, we just definitely had a connection. Right? And in the end... how it ended up being was that, like, she had chosen me based on, I don't know, this reputation that I had now garnered about being somebody who a good time guy, right? You know what I mean? Like, he didn't need to invest too much in me. Mm-hmm. But now I'm getting invested, bro, because, you know what I'm saying? I don't kick her out on Sunday morning because the conversation's great. Yeah. You know what I mean? We can go for brunch and shit. We can continue the day. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm getting super fucking invested. And she, even though she felt the same connection, or hopefully, I don't know, really, to...
Shout out to whoever that is.
I'm not going to mention anybody by name.
True, of course.
People who know me.
I don't mention names.
But she was, but in her mind, rightfully so as well. And she's not being a hoe about it, but she wanted to have fun with me in that way, right? She wanted to have sex and to go out on dates and stuff, but she didn't want a relationship and commitment, right? So I was a great candidate for that until, unfortunately, I caught them feels, right? You know what I mean, right? Yeah. It's fucking in the air, right? You know what I mean? So when I was now pushing, I was like, so what's up? Let's, you want to make this legit? This is now like months into it now as well, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I can't keep hitting this like on some mission, on some hit it and quit it mission. You mean speaking too brash, bro.
He's a very humble man.
Anyway, so like I'm like now pushing for this relationship, and she's just like sat. You know what I mean? Like I like it.
Sat means no.
Yeah, she's like I like it how it is. Yeah. We have fun. The dates are great. The sex is good. Why do you want more? I'm like, because, you know what I mean? And then that's when I realized, this is the fucking way I treat everybody, right?
Absolutely. So you saw yourself.
In this shape. And maybe another reason why we connected so well, right? Yeah. So I was just like, this is how I treat everybody. Right. I was, as I was saying to you earlier, I had the mentality that everybody in the world was a tertiary character to the novel of Matty Wade. Right?
Okay, that's some deep stuff. Say that again.
Okay, well, let's run it back again. You can't just rewind on the side?
No, just a lot. Say it again.
That everybody in this world was a tertiary character in the novel of Matty Wade. Right. I was the star player. I was, you know what I mean? It was the Matty Wade show. You know, this is, everybody here is in service of my narrative. Right? And now I've encountered somebody who treated me the same way. And clearly it fucking sucked, right? So now, retrospectively, I ended up, when you say that, copious amounts of sex gets you, sometimes you can be alone, it can be lonely, right? I realized that actually, despite all the people that I've been with and all whatever, and aside from my core group of friends, because, I've always been a social person like that, I was actually lonely in a romantic sense, right? Yes, I was having sex, but I wasn't getting what I needed out of connection. Right. So that actual hurt, that breakup, because in the end I had to be like, wow, I can't do this anymore, right? Because I'm getting the feels, bro. I'm getting touched. Yeah. You know what I mean? I can't do this.
I'm always losing.
Yeah, basically. She flipped the script, and I'm the girl in this. Well, traditionally, you're right. I'm the person like, yo, can we be together? She's like, bro, you just, I'll call you when I need some booty or some shit, right?
Stereotypically.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, that's when I realized I actually wanted a proper connection. It was still years after that till I actually found one. And, as you know now, you met my girlfriend now. Yes. In a very wonderful, fantastic relationship. Hola. But it did teach me that, because of the connection that I had with this girl, it did teach me that, friendship comes first, right? Not necessarily comes first time-wise, chronologically, right? But that it comes first in priority.
Right.
Because you can hook up with a girl and become friends with her later. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying that if you don't have a strong friendship with your intended partner, it's probably not going to be a good relationship.
Would you agree that you came to that knowledge accidentally? Like you weren't looking for it, but then you found that? Okay. So is there no better way? I'm not trying to say that your path was not good, but okay, is there is there a shortcut? Because not everyone would have your approach to sex.
People learn lessons differently, right?
Right.
And are you going to listen to your parents when they tell you, yeah, we're in an art studio at the moment and there's very bright lights and the window's open, so if you hear any buzzing, that's
it's Maddie's brain.
No. What I'm saying is that would you listen to your parents if they said, "Yo, make sure that you have a good friendship with whoever you intended," right? Mm-hmm. Because you're just gonna be like, "Man, I want to make sure she got a fat ass, bro." You know what I mean?
True.
Right?
True.
So everyone learns lessons in their own way, and people, when they enter relationships, will realize. Well, a lot of people don't realize when it's not working. Mm-hmm. A lot of people think, well, you know, this is okay. Mm-hmm. And at least I'm not alone, right?
Right.
And now to digress and to jump back to the original talking point of Aho's created, not born, I think that we'll have to figure out how to word this politically. I think it's educational, right? For everybody to have a little bit of a hoe phrase.
That's true.
Yeah, I think you need to try things. You need to experiment. You need to be callous a little bit, right? Be a little bit selfish sometimes. Learn not just what you like in bed, but what you like in a partner. You know, because I mean, it's also if you meet somebody, it's the first person you meet, and you love them to bits, and it's amazing. Then fucking great. You know what I mean? That's wonderful. I don't believe in the, one true love thing. I don't believe in the, one person for everybody thing.
I don't believe in that either.
I think, it's a compatibility issue, right? And if we're all running on different softwares, what programs can be exchanged and stuff like that. And if you have a great compatibility ratio, then it'll make a good relationship.
Now let me ask you this. I'm taking a deep breath because it's a slightly risque question, only because I'm talking to you, right? Do you honestly believe? I should stop saying that.
Yeah.
Do you think that this lesson can be learned the same for men and women? Do you think that?
I don't think there's a difference.
You don't?
No.
You don't?
I think there's a very strong stigma against women wanting to be promiscuous.
Right.
Or even promiscuous is the wrong word because it has negative connotations, right? But there's such a stigma around women who have sex because the ideal world that we have set up is that, they don't, right? But we're allowed to fuck, right?
It's not celebrated.
Men.
Well, it's not celebrated.
Men celebrate their fucking conquests all the goddamn time.
Amongst each other, but society does not champion Tiger Woods because, he ruined his marriage by having sex.
That's philandering. That's
what's the difference?
Infidelity.
Right.
No, I'm not talking about infidelity.
You're talking about running around
a single man who fucks lots of girls.
So you're telling me that a dirty dick nigga is celebrated in society?
Not if you say it like that.
But that's exactly what he is.
No, but it isn't like, oh, yo, he can get all the girls, man. You know what I mean? Like it's the okay.
In what circles are womanizers celebrated? Because let me tell you something. Nothing productive comes out of those circles.
No, I 100% agree. 100% agree. I'm just saying that if I came up to you and was like, yo, dog, this week's been fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Monday I was with A, Wednesday, I went out with C. And then on Saturday, man, I hooked up with B, bruh. And it was dope.
Yeah.
You'd be like, bruh, you crazy for this one. But we laugh and we joke and it'd be fucking fun.
And I'm sure amongst girlfriends, they could have that conversation and it'll be the same experience.
All right.
But what I am talking about, right, is I'm referring to something that you said earlier, right? You had this very nervous time trying to explain the traditional, as you called it, and then I said stereotypical, of when you woke up in the morning and you said, can't we be more than friends? Which you said traditionally was whose role?
The woman's role.
Right, so this is why I'm asking you, is it the same for men and women? Can a man and a woman, of course they're allowed to have sex with as many people as they want, but can they emotionally handle it? Can a woman learn the lesson you learned the same way as you?
Yes.
Can she have sex with 50 guys and then learn on 51 and say, do you not find it that it could be harder because they relate to sex differently than men?
No, well, if so, it's
probably easier to ask a woman this question.
Probably. We should really be having this conversation with women.
Yeah, but I'll have to set it up.
This is what we got, right?
Yeah.
So, look, if it's in any way to the contrary that men and women are the same, it is a product of upbringing in a patriarchal world.
Okay.
Right? So from a little girl, they've been told your wedding day is going to be the greatest day of your fucking life.
That's right.
Right? So if in any way they don't learn the same lessons that I did, and 50 is a high number, bro. Even I don't know 50, but damn, goddamn. But I'm just saying, if in any way they relate to sex differently, it's because they've always been told sex is different for you. You know, they've grown up saying, nah, you're going to find the right guy, and that's who you'll marry, and that's who you're going to have kids with. And that's the mentality that they've been raised with.
And guys haven't been raised
not
to
really,
think
maybe more.
You're not raised to, go to school, work hard, get your wife, start your family, provide for them.
But we're encouraged to date. We're encouraged to...
Everyone's encouraged to date.
Not really, but...
Everyone's encouraged to date. My sister is encouraged to date so that she can find the right person.
So she can find the right person.
On the same person. But she ain't encouraged to
But if your sister comes home, like I broke up with X, and it's like, bruh, that's like the 5th boyfriend you've had. If you come in and say, I broke up with X, and it's the 5th girlfriend you had, it's like, don't worry, coulda, plenty of fish in the sea.
No difference.
Well, that's
you clearly have an issue picking bad people, and that's on both sides. If a guy or a girl is going through a string of bad relationships, they need to stop and check themselves.
That's true.
That's just the
That's very
truth.
true.
Yeah.
Is 5 a high number?
Oh, some people, I know.
Some people are good on 1.
Some people are good on right. But although there's some people who can have 3, but they've been single between those 3 people for like 2 weeks.
I know people like that.
Yeah.
Serial
daters.
Serial monogamists.
Yes.
Yeah. I also think it's very important to be single. When I say that whole phase, that's actually the better way of saying it. I think it's very important to be single, especially after 16. From 16 till or 17 or even 18 till you're ready for a relationship.
Yeah.
I think then go. So it's be free, bro. Be you. Girl or guy, do your thing.
Yeah.
Because I think you really need to find yourself. Because you can't give 100% of your... Again, my experiences made me know who I was.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm in a position now, very fortunately, where I can give a fully realized individual to my partner.
Okay.
You know? But if you are just jumping from one relation to another with a 1 week...
Are those really relationships? Like, how long does a relationship have to be for it to be called a relationship?
How long does it That's another question. That's a whole different topic. I don't know. Because I've been seeing some... I put air quotes there for the people who can't see me.
Yes.
Yeah. For the... I've been seeing somebody for upwards of, for over a month. Sometimes 2. And I didn't consider a relationship. Right? But I've also been on a couple of dates and been like, wow, this is it, right? This is the fucking shit, right? You know what I mean? I think it's different depending on where you are in life. I mean, like, defining... It's really hard in this day and age as well because there's going on a date, There's I'm seeing them. There's I'm just fucking them. Then there's
situationships.
Situationship.
Benefits.
Exactly. There's so many different fucking terminologies that it's difficult to classify. But I think it's a conversation that you both have, and you both agree. So you say so. It's all